Through a bizarre series of events, we are actually able to clone Ashley in Resident Evil 4 and actually create a duplicate of her. And in this video, I'm going to explain how. There's a lot to cover, so buckle up. Resident Evil 4's partner system is a bit wonky. I definitely enjoyed it a lot more than Resident Evil 5's. Granted, that game, your partner could do more. We at least have a start and go button in Resident Evil 4. And speaking of partners, we of course have Ashley in Resident Evil 4. And the neat thing about Ashley is that, throughout the game, she's with you during certain instances. And in other parts, she's not with you. But the entire game is designed so that Ashley could be with you or could not. Now mind you, there'll be hiccups you run into, but Ashley kind of works like a switch. When she's on, she will spawn in certain areas, and when she is off, she will not appear. Aside from that, there are specific rooms that will always spawn Ashley with you, and there are certain rooms that always remove her from your partnership. So with that said, even though Ashley can spawn in every room, not every single room is designed to be completed with Ashley. There's actually a couple instances in the game where Ashley will get hung up on the geometry or puzzles or mechanics for getting across the room. So for example, the cave area in the castle region. Now normally Ashley is already kidnapped during this part. You don't have her with you, and having her with you actually causes some problems. So when you're going through this cave, or basically the area that leads to the ruins, you come across these little smasher things that come out of the ceiling, and eventually you come across a ledge that Leon has to climb up. Now if Ashley is with you, she will run to this ledge, and then her model will freak out. Her arms will basically shoot off to like ski poles. She'll like twitch and start T-posing a little bit. It's actually quite funny, but the reason this is happening is because Ashley does not know how to interact with that ledge. She does not have a climbing animation for that specific ledge or an action command paired with it so she knows how to get over it. Now this causes problems, which I'll talk about a little bit later on, but basically going back to that concept, there's basically a series of switches throughout the game that either enable her or disable her. When the game goes through these parts, they'll either add or remove her, but that situation actually sets us up for something really interesting. So Ashley gets added to our party in the church, only to be removed again in the castle. After we rescue Ashley, she then joins us again in the castle, only to be kidnapped once again. On and off, on and off. So let's talk about that second time she gets kidnapped. When using no clipping, you can basically bypass triggers in the game. So in that cutscene where there's these giant bugs that fly around, the camera goes bug-eyed for a second and then it swoops down and picks her up, thus removing her from our party. We can skip that. We can actually no clip, go out of bounds around the trigger, and then go and proceed through the rest of the castle. Now, we skipped that off switch. The game normally would switch Ashley off in that instance, but because we bypassed it, now it is on. This leads to a funny cutscene in the next area. We walk out, Ashley's with us, but we spot Ashley in the distance being escorted away. But besides funny situations like this, it actually makes the castle area kind of hard. There's a lot of different obstacles you come across that are hard to navigate with Ashley. A very big problem is that Ashley always needs to be near us when we're going through doors. But there are going to be times where she won't be able to come to us. Like in the caves I mentioned before, she gets stuck. You basically have to move on without her. But because the elevator isn't a door, it can be activated. So we proceed on and we come across the elevator leading to the ruins. Now this elevator allows us to activate it because one, Ashley is not normally with us, but two, it doesn't act as a door precisely. It actually leads us to a save screen before we can go to the next area. Now, it's incredibly important to save your game right here, because if we don't, upon exiting this save menu, we get stuck with the message that we cannot move forward because Ashley is not with us. Now the screen's totally black, the music is kind of looping a little bit, the background noise, and the game is essentially soft locked. We cannot move forward because Ashley is still stuck down below in the caves. But saving and reloading is basically what enables us to proceed. So we reset the game, reload our save, and then when we reload, Ashley will be at the top in the ruins with us. And the save and load mechanic is something you have to do over and over again throughout the game in order to get Ashley to progress with you due to this door issue. It's going to occur right before Salazar's fight when we're using the lifts. It's going to occur right after Salazar's fight when we're trying to use the rope, and so on. But the cool thing about all of this is the switch for Ashley is still on. She's still in our party, and she's supposed to be off right now. She's not supposed to be with us. and this changes the whole island area up a bit. So as we proceed through the island facility, trying to rescue Ashley in the main game storyline, we come across a room which is the trash compactor room. Now, in this room, there is a point that you reach that the game checks to see if Ashley is with you, and if she is, it will initiate a cutscene where Leon and Ashley jump into the garbage dump. We don't want that. We do not want to go down there. Now, what's interesting is this could be a really neat skip if someone figured out how to avoid this. There might be some speedrun mechanics that could be used, but for our situation, we want to no-clip and go out of bounds and walk around this trigger so we can actually rescue Ashley. Because our quest for all of this is to get to Ashley when Ashley is supposed to be off, but she's on. Our goal is to get Ashley added back to our party when she's already in our party. So as we press on, we eventually come across the room that contains Ashley. Now this room is basically like a long hallway that snakes around a bit, eventually leading to a sealed door with 2 guards. We knock out the 2 guards, we see Ashley at the gate, and we see Ashley beside us. Now what's interesting is when we go in this room, our HUD for Ashley actually disappears. It looks like she's not with us, but she is following us. She's literally right behind us, and we do have the Ashley that's in front of us. Now we have to go and get the card key and come back, and that's when things get really, really interesting. So upon returning, if we take the camera and just actually look at the room that Ashley's in, we'll notice that her outfit is just glitching all over the place. I'm not sure why this occurs. I think maybe it has something to do with it being dynamically tied to maybe the Ashley's outfit that we have, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So upon going around the corner and opening up the doors, we see a cutscene where Ashley is reunited with us, and then we are prompted to save. Now upon exiting that save menu, Ashley has successfully been duplicated. Yes, we have 2 Ashleys with us. And this is where things get really, really weird because the game does not really know how to cope with 2 Ashleys loaded at the same time. Now, if we accidentally shoot either of the Ashleys, it will still give us a game over. And then upon reloading, when it automatically reloads, we actually will only have 1 Ashley. So we don't want to do that. We want to keep 2 because when we have 2 Ashleys, like I said, the game doesn't know what to do. The enemies on this map, they're not really sure which one to go after. And, their goal is to pick up Ashley and take her to the door, right? Problem is, there's competing logic going on right now. Now, when an enemy picks up Ashley, typically it changes her state from a walking state to now being over the shoulder. However, if you have 1 Ashley over the shoulder and you have 1 Ashley still standing, the game doesn't know if she's being carried or if she can still walk. So what happens is as soon as she's picked up, the game freaks out and she starts flying around the room. The enemy consistently drops her, tries to pick her back up, and she'll warp around the room, she'll fly, she'll hit walls. It's very, very odd. Sometimes she'll be transported way out of bounds. She'll get magically teleported, she'll be beyond the skybox of the level, and you actually have to walk out of bounds through the skybox, which contains the map, and you'll find her out in the void, just kind of chilling, because she doesn't exactly know how to walk back to you unless you're out there to guide her. And overall, this whole situation is just very, very strange. It's really neat that, a skip that we performed back in the castle is having all these bizarre effects now that Ashley has been restored to our party. Now, the unfortunate part is this only takes place in this room. Upon going through a loading zone, there is only going to be 1 Ashley with you. The future rooms are not going to carry the 2 objects through it. It's simply going to check if Ashley's in your party and then restore Ashley as she should be as 1 single person and not 2. But when I first discovered this, it was absolutely mind-blowing. Now, some of you may have seen some snippets of this in She Says's sequence break video we did together. We were working together. Obviously, I'm a big Resident Evil fan. I helped him on that video, giving him some different tidbits that I discovered. When I first found this, I was like, this is absolutely insane. Science has gone too far. Why is there 2 Ashleys in this room? But honestly, just really neat mechanics knowing that we can avoid hitting a switch and thus it messes up the game. I wish there was more to it in terms of what we could do with this. I wish, she would persist through the doors and having 2 to the rest of the game, because I would love to see Leon get on the jet ski at the end of the game and then leave 1 Ashley behind. That'd be kind of funny. But hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of a long setup for something kind of a little bizarre, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed these weird deep dives we're doing on HorrorScoped, and I will see all of you very, very soon. Oh, no. Oh, and of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, do so because we have so many more cool videos coming. Thanks for watching, everyone, and until next time, cheers.